morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Akal. The top stories first. Coronavirus claims 3 more lives in Nepal, 2 new deaths reported in the capital. 20 bodies recovered from Myagdi landslide sites. Rescue workers struggle to reach affected areas. Public transportation yet to resume despite government assurance. Transport entrepreneurs ask government to fulfill their demands first. Newly discovered comet streaking past Earth. Spectacular view expected in coming weeks. And Burnley break Liverpool's 25 home win record. Chelsea suffer major blow in the Premier League. And now the news in detail. Coronavirus has claimed 3 more lives in Nepal. 2 of the latest deaths were reported in the capital. The Ministry of Health and Population confirmed yesterday that 2 deaths from coronavirus occurred in Kathmandu and 1 in Sindhupalchok. According to the ministry, a 60-year-old man from Sankhamul in Kathmandu died while undergoing treatment at Patan Hospital 2 days ago. Similarly, a 54-year-old man from Gokarna died of coronavirus at Nepal Medical College, informed Dr. Jageshwar Gautam, spokesperson at the Health Ministry. Likewise, a 45-year-old man from Panchpokhari in Sindhupalchok died while undergoing treatment 3 days ago. The ministry confirmed that the total number of deaths from coronavirus in the country has now reached 38.
काठमाडौँ जिल्ला वडा नम्बर 10 शङ्खमूल ठेगाना भएका वर्ष 60 का एक पुरुषको मिति 2077 आषाढ 26 गते निधन भएको छ। उहाँ फोक्सोमा पानी जमेको र मृगौला रोगको कारणले 2077 आषाढ 16 गते पाटन अस्पतालमा भर्ना हुनुभएको थियो। उहाँको असार 17 गते गरिएको कोरोना परीक्षणमा नतिजा पोजिटिभ पुष्टि भएको। काठमाडौँ जिल्ला गोकर्णेश्वर नगरपालिका वार्ड नम्बर 4 घर भएका 54 वर्षका एक पुरुषको 77 आषाढ 25 गते उपचारको क्रममा निधन भएको छ।
The Health Ministry confirmed 70 new cases of coronavirus in the country yesterday. With this, the total number of infection in the country has reached 16,719. At present, 8,239 persons are undergoing treatment in isolation at various hospitals across the country. So far, 8,242 persons have recovered from the disease. Government authorities have found the bodies of 20 persons missing in landslides in Myagdi district. Massive landslide had occurred in Malika, Dhaulagiri and Raghuganga rural municipality of the district on Friday. Separate teams of rescue workers, including Nepal Police, Army and Armed Police Force, as well as the people's representatives and the locals, recovered the bodies yesterday. So far, the rescue workers have recovered 11 bodies from Marang of Dhaulagiri, 8 bodies from Bimak of Malika, and 1 body from Thadakhani of Raghuganga rural municipality. The rescue workers reached the incident sites yesterday morning. It took almost 24 hours for the rescue security forces to reach the areas affected by landslides because of adverse weather and geographical remoteness. Rescue workers airlifted 2 persons from Marang and 1 from Bimak for treatment. 22-year-old Manjita Sripali and 7-year-old Safal Sripali of Marak have been admitted to Manipal Teaching Hospital in Pokhara. Likewise, 40-year-old Purna Pariyar of Bimak is undergoing treatment in Beni Hospital. Government authorities are discussing the possibility of keeping the people affected by landslides and floods at public buildings and schools for the time being. National Disaster Risk Mitigation and Management Authority held discussions with stakeholders regarding the issue yesterday. The authority decided to hold discussions with concerned stakeholders after the monsoon rain and landslides started wreaking havoc in different places in the country at a time when it was coping with increasing cases of coronavirus. Participants of the interaction held at Prime Minister's official residence in Baluatar discussed about rehabilitating the landslide victims in public buildings and schools as soon as possible.
अझै प्रभावकारी कसरी हुन सक्छ त्यो कार्ययोजनाहरूलाई हामीहरू त्योमा थप के गर्न सकिन्छ यसपालिको जुन अलिक परिस्थिति हेरेर त्यो हिसाबबाट बसेको बैठक हो यो घटना घटिसके पछाडि मात्र बसेको बैठक होइन यसलाई सिरिज अफ त्यो मिटिङ्सको हिसाबबाट हेर्नु जरुरी छ विभिन्न स्कुलहरू भवनहरू यो संस्थागत भवनहरू जुनहरू हुन सक्छन् त्यसैलाई नै प्रयोग गर्नु पर्यो बाहेक हामी अर्को कुनै विकल्पहरू छैन आफ्नो घरमा यदि त्यो सम्भावना छ त्यस्तो खालको घरमा कतै कसैको कोठाहरू त्यो आइसोलेटेड खालको हिसाबबाट राख्न सक्ने सम्भावना छ भने त्यसलाई पनि हामीहरूले हेर्नुपर्ने हुन सक्छ।
Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba, ministers and chief of security agencies were present during the meeting. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. Although the government has eased the lockdown to some extent, public transportation service is yet to resume due to lack of work procedure. Transport entrepreneurs have clarified that it is not possible to resume their services right away. They also claimed that there is no truth in resuming public transportation service as informed by the government. A meeting of transport entrepreneurs yesterday said they will not resume their service unless the government fulfills their genuine demands. Commuters are forced to travel by foot due to lack of public transportation service. On the other hand, people who make a living from this sector have their own problems. Firstly, they have not been able to generate income for several months since the government imposed the lockdown, while they have not received any relief from the government yet. Secondly, the vehicles unused for months require repair before resuming operation, while the drivers and helpers face risk of contracting coronavirus. In this context, transport entrepreneurs have demanded insurance coverage for the lockdown period, grant assistance, among others. They have made it clear that they will not resume their service unless the demands are addressed. The executive chairman of Nepal Communist Party, Pushpa Kamal Dahal, visited the flood-affected regions of Chitwan district. Chairman Dahal visited Bharatpur Metropolitan 23 and 24, the border where the dam has been washed away by flood, and the Mari area which has been heavily affected by the incessant rainfall. He further informed the locals and those affected by floods that he will inform the Home Minister and the Prime Minister about the situation in Chitwan. Discussions were held with Prime Minister Oli on how to provide relief materials to all those who have been affected by the floods, Dahal informed. The Chitwan constituency number 3 is Dahal's vote bank. Dahal also informed about the construction work taking place to stop the Narayani River from further eroding the surrounding areas. The Nepal Communist Party has postponed the Standing Committee meeting until 17th July and has asked all its party cadres to focus their attention on providing relief to flood and landslide pillaged areas. And now the news from the economic front. Nineteen more companies are looking to release their general share to the public after the IPOs of 2 companies were swooped up by the public after hitting the market. The interest from the people in the share market in the post-lockdown phase has brought excitement to many. According to the Securities Board Nepal, shares worth 5.84 billion rupees will be available for transaction in the share market. The total number of shares to be available for purchase will be 58.47 million. Some 10 hydropower companies have asked for permission to make their general shares public. Similarly, 4 insurance companies, 3 companies from other sectors, a merchant bank and a microfinance have requested for the permission, informed Securities Board Nepal. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. A newly discovered comet is streaking past Earth, providing a stunning nighttime show, AP reported. According to the news agency, Comet Neowise, the brightest comet visible from the northern hemisphere in a quarter of a century, swept within Mercury's orbit a week ago. Its close proximity to the Sun caused dust and gas to burn off its surface and create an even bigger debris tail. Now the comet is headed Earth's way, the closest approach in 2 weeks. NASA's Neowise infrared space telescopes discovered the comet in March. Scientists involved in the mission said the comet is about 5 kilometers across. The comet will be visible across the northern hemisphere until mid-August, when it heads back towards the outer solar system. While it's visible with the naked eye in dark skies with little or no light pollution, binoculars are needed to see the long tail, according to NASA. It will be about 7,000 years before the comet returns. Joe Misiero said it is the biggest comet since the mid-1990s for stargazers in the northern hemisphere. The coronavirus pandemic has exposed a clash among medical experts over disease transmission that stretches back nearly a century to the very origins of germ theory. According to Reuters, the World Health Organization acknowledged this week that the novel coronavirus can spread through tiny droplets floating in the air. The new revelation is something which more than 200 experts in aerosol science had publicly complained that the UN agency had failed to warn the public about this risk. Yet the WHO still insists on more definitive proof that the novel coronavirus can be transmitted through the air. WHO's slow motion on this issue is unfortunately slowing the control of the pandemic, said Jose Jimenez, a University of Colorado chemist who signed the public letter urging the agency to change its guidelines. Jimenez and other experts in aerosol transmission have said the WHO is holding too dearly to the notion that germs are spread primarily through contact with a contaminated person or object. It's part of the culture of medicine from the early 20th century. To accept something was airborne requires this very high level of proof, said Dr. Donald Milton, a University of Maryland aerobiologist and a lead author of the open letter. For the WHO, such proof is necessary as it advises countries of every income and resource level to take more drastic measures against a pandemic that has killed more than 550,000 people globally, with more than 12 million confirmed infections. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Burnley break Liverpool's record of 25 home wins in a row, while Chelsea suffer a major blow in their chase for the top 4 places. Burnley ended new champions Liverpool's hopes of completing the season with a 100% Premier League home record. The draw means Liverpool can now no longer beat the Premier League record for home wins in a season. They need to beat Chelsea in their last game at Anfield to equal the league high of 18. The game ended in 1-1 draw. Chelsea, on the other hand, were beaten comprehensively by Sheffield United by 3-0. If Leicester and United win their games in hand, then Chelsea, currently third, will be pushed outside of the top 4 places into the 5th place. Sheffield United, however, moved to the 6th in the table, only 6 points behind the Blues. Manchester City continued their run of 5-star performance with a 5-0 win over Brighton and Hove Albion, with Raheem Sterling scoring a hat-trick. City are on 72 points and have all but sealed their second spot. Norwich City became the first side to confirm relegation as they were comprehensively beaten 4-0 by West Ham United. Both Aston Villa and Bournemouth need wins to pull themselves out of the relegation zone. Juventus have created a 8-point lead at the top of the table in the Italian Serie A, while Barcelona secured a vital win to keep pressure on Madrid in the Spanish La Liga. Cristiano Ronaldo scored 2 penalties as Juventus managed a 2-2 draw against Atalanta to reach 76 points with 6 games to go. Atalanta controlled long periods of the game and twice went ahead in Turin, only for the Portuguese starlet Cristiano Ronaldo to help Juventus score a draw. Ronaldo now has 28 goals from 28 games in the league. An earlier shock home defeat to second-placed Lazio by Sassuolo gave Juve the breathing space they need to secure the Serie A title. In the Spanish La Liga, Barcelona moved within a point of the leaders Real Madrid at the top of the La Liga table with a narrow win at Real Valladolid. Arturo Vidal scored the only goal with a low effort into the bottom left corner from Lionel Messi's pass. Madrid, who have a game in hand, travel to Granada in their next game, and a win will all but seal their title aspirations. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Coronavirus claims 3 more lives in Nepal, 2 new deaths reported in the capital. 20 bodies recovered from Myagdi landslide sites. Rescue workers struggle to reach affected areas. Public transportation yet to resume despite government assurance. Transport entrepreneurs ask government to fulfill their demands first. Newly discovered comet streaking past Earth. Spectacular view expected in coming weeks. And Burnley break Liverpool's 25 home win record. Chelsea suffer major blow in the Premier League. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. We urge all our viewers to follow healthy hygienic practices to keep safe from any infection. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.